report only. So...
Well, forgive me.
So they didn't get the whole picture. It's kind of like the 312 thing we talked about. Let me keep doing that, because I promised your listeners that I would explain this to them.
Well, right, but you've had now 3 minutes. Let me just respond 1 minute to that.
No, wait a minute. Alex took the phone for 90 seconds.
Okay.
Alex came on the line, and he talked about bringing armed folks into Montana. The gentleman...
No, I was reading the state constitution. I know that's evil.
But no, it's not evil. I live by it.
Well, you can't say that because it is unconstitutional. You can't say you live by something that's unconstitutional. Now, the thing that is that I think you need to be aware. No, you need to be aware.
Let me finish.
No, let me finish, because you're saying something that I don't get a chance to respond to, okay?
Okay.
Those details carried a Serbian crest on them. We tracked the ownership of the company that used that. APF took down their website. Seriously, you need to know this. Well, my webmaster and I were on the phone. It was down, it was up, it was down, it was up. The thing is that one thing led to another, Becky, and I'm just saying this. It is conceivable that what you know is what you know, what you've been told, and you take it at face value. And I understand Hardin's economic plight. I live in Montana, have for the past 40 years, so I know what's going on, okay? But the thing that I think that you're losing focus on is that the people are seeing a bigger picture just than Hardin's financial dramas. The idea is this.
Steve,
the idea is this.
Let me address two topics that you brought to me. Number one is the section of our Constitution that Alex read to you. The context that was brought up in is, how are you going to staff a detention facility and do it within the Constitution? What we do is we do it legally. We hire local people. We train them to the level required by the state of Montana, and the state of Montana has stringent certification requirements for detention officers. We're going to bring them in and do that, okay?
Hold on. Steve, I want to throw it back to you. We're going to break here in about 4 minutes, and we want to get the tour finished here, but I want to go ahead and just give you the floor till we go out to break. Then later in the, I guess the show is got about an hour and 10 minutes left, correct?
Correct.
Guys at the network?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Steve, I just want to give her the last word and throw it to you in this segment and the next for the other breaking news you have. But I want to give Becky, just as we go to break here, about 2 minutes. Then you throw it to break in the last 2 minutes. Come back with Steve Quayle. Okay, Steve?
That's fine.
Okay, here's Becky. Becky, a final comment because we're about to go to break.
Steve, my only comment at this point is that I want to thank you and Alex and all of your listeners for giving me an opportunity to talk today. As I've said in local media all day, my focus is on the people of Hardin, and some of them are gathered around me now. We're going to be outside now because I'm going to finish the tour of the property here. So I'm going to say goodbye to you and your viewers or your listeners.
Thank you very much, Becky.
Steve, you and I had a little plan to meet and have me be on your show. You kind of got a little bit usurped by Alex there. So let's you and I do another show together, okay?
Sure, but again, I want to make it clear
Steve,
that yes, go ahead,
Steve.
Go ahead,
Steve. I want to get your comment, and then I'm going to get off the phone and let you come back in the next segment. I just want to point out that all these people running this are foreigners. They have to hire a local to be their front person because they're all foreigners.
Right, and Alex, the main issue is that the Hardin city limits versus the reservation. There are different laws that apply to the reservation.
This is on the reservation. This is on the reservation. Hardin, for those that don't know, is on the line of the state and the Crow. That's what it says on my road map they gave me at their car rental. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. And that's what I'm saying. And for those that we'll talk when we come back after the break, all you have to see is the parallel to the Cabazon. For those that don't know about it, what that means is you can get away with, let's use the word, you can get away with everything you want that's unconstitutional when you're doing it in a territory versus the United States. So there are legal questions, and I believe that's what the real crux of the matter is. You can do things in a reservation. We have the Cabazon Indian Reservation in California, Inslaw Promise Software, CIA, and that's where it all goes, Alex.
I think we just dropped Alex Jones. We have Steve Quayle with us. Alex Jones on the ground in Hardin, Montana. This is just simply unbelievable. She's pretty much confirming that this is a foreign-run merc service called American Police Force. How ironic. It is hardly American. It is hardly what the Founding Fathers stood for, to bring in foreign mercenaries to police the American populace, Steve.
Well, absolutely, Jason. And I'm looking at the aliases of one man that supposedly is the head of the APF, and we've got at least a half a dozen. No, I'm sorry, 1, 2. I'll count them off screen. I'll send this to you. Probably 8 or 9 Middle Eastern aliases. You guys track the Pakistani tie. I track the Kuwaiti tie. The bottom line is that we're really, really dealing with, can I tell you something? We're dealing with the surface. I understand the Hardin people. They want jobs. That place has been so depressed. That's not the issue. The issue is there major foreign entities that are going to be training mercs used against us, and it's the ideal place to take people under whatever. Now, look, I stand by the person that sent me the information. They were told by a city council member that the whole situation was the forced vaccinations, the gun issue, etc. And when we come back, I want to address those with Alex.
Absolutely. We're going to have you on for one more segment. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Burmis sitting in. Just an amazing amount of intel coming in from Hardin, Montana. Again, USA Today picking up on the story. The Boston Herald picking up on the story. It's just unbelievable to me that we now live in a country where they can hire a multiple felon with civil suits pending against him of over $1 million in losses. Somebody who has been a con man acting as though he is a car salesman, an arts dealer, a foreign military man, someone who advised on the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and this is the guy that's going to head this up. And like you said, they're going to use tribal lands to train foreign mercenaries and militaries. This was foreshadowed this summer with National Level Exercise 09, where they went into FEMA Region 6, which included Montana, by the way, and they took over national, regional, local, and tribal governments, prepping them for this situation, and now we have it coming to fruition in front of our eyes, Steve.
Well, and you've laid it out absolutely perfectly. The thing is, though, the timetable has now been moved up, and that's the thing, Jason, that I'm really concerned with, because while Alex is on the ground in Hardin, Montana, having flown into Billings, all the people he's meeting there, I mean, I'll tell you one thing that Montanans are. Montanans just, as they say it like they see it, and they call it like it is, okay? We're too rural. Where Alex is incredibly rural. The area around the Pryor Mountains is incredibly rural. So when you've got hardworking Montanans, eyewitnesses, talking to Alex and sending me emails while we're on the air together, I got to tell you something. This isn't Bravo Sierra. This is real time warning. And here's the thing that people don't understand. This is how they're working across the country. The powers that be that are going to put us under martial law, are buying off, bribing, and giving bonuses, if you will, to people that tell on people. I mean, this is just so out of control. And
and Steve, they are targeting economically destitute areas where people are willing to go along to get along. Next segment coming up with Steve Quayle. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Burmis sitting in. The latest over at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. We are back. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Burmis sitting in. Alex on the ground in Hardin, Montana, getting the tour from Becky Shea, the front person, the spokeswoman for all of this, only divulging so much. A very nice, well-meaning lady, but we've got a ton of well-meaning idiots out there that are allowing this progression to occur. I really hope that she decides it's not enough to just go along to get along, and she realizes that this is a violation of the Constitution and Bill of Rights. This is against everything that Americans who believe in those documents stand for. Steve, can you just give us a quick overview of how this has developed over the last week, and then the FBI ties you just discussed with me off air?
Well, I think the thing that people need to understand real quickly is this has been developing, especially in Hardin, Montana, over the last probably year primarily, and economically destitute areas, not just in Montana, but in other states that can be used for training of foreign mercenaries, and let's call them what they are, Jason. Who are these mercenaries going to be used against? I think this is what the big picture that's being lost in. Well, is it really going on in Hardin or not? All those of you that are sending all these emails saying, well, it's not really true or blah, 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 what you don't understand is that the idea simply is this, to pre-position the troops that all of us have been warning about for years, and not only the ones that are currently pre-positioned throughout the country, but when the declaration of martial law is declared either by a weapon of mass destruction over Washington, D.C., New York, London, wherever it proceeds from, or it's the biological plague generated in the laboratory, in which, by the way, Jason, 2 more bioagents of world renown have just been murdered in the last 2 weeks, The idea is this, ladies and gentlemen, that we're talking about a reservation town, Hardin, Montana, that's been hit by incredibly bad economics. We have a good idea. There was a $27 million prison built there. Basically, it did not meet state specifications. Our governor and I think one or two of our senators were sued to be able to allow the private utilization of that prison. Now, isn't it interesting that the only prison that could be utilized, at least the only available prison, is in Hardin, Montana, which happens to be on a reservation, which fits the same category as Guantanamo Bay, which basically Alex brought up.